is up, everybody? Welcome back to Chaotic Minds. It's your boy Guess,
And the midget.
and well,
Life.
it's been a hot minute. I was checking over things just so that way you're aware, because I don't know if you are. The last time we actually did one of these, take a guess.
6 months.
What month?
I don't know. This is April, so 6 months ago.
The last time
October?
the last time we did this, one of these, September.
Huh.
September 11th, to be more precise, was the last time that we recorded.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Sorry, guys. We are genuinely sorry about this.
Now that we've got a little more stability in my work schedule.
Ish. I mean,
Ish?
I say ish because, I mean, you're still working pretty hard. I'm still working pretty hard.
I'm working
and
too many hours.
That's the major thing, is you come home, you're exhausted, and it's always a toss-up on whether or not you're going to work a Friday or not.
And the thing is like, I don't know where all of our listeners are from, but here in Colorado and Mountain Standard Time, I gotta be to work at sometimes 4 a.m., sometimes 5 a.m.
So at dark 30.
Butt crack of dawn.
So
Before the butt crack of dawn, honestly.
So there's been a few things that have been popping up. A couple of them, with us, we're still fine, by the way, regardless of what how the last episode ended, which I believe was our open relationship episode, which it
Yes.
seemed like we were getting very heated. We weren't. There were some things that I
We
was
are
saying
still
that
fine.
she didn't like, and there were some things that she was saying that I was having a hard time understanding or wrapping my mind around. But
Mind?
yes, but at the end of the day, we sat down, we did what people are supposed to do. We talked, and then we're like, okay. So, to all those who may have pondered, like, oh my gosh, is the reason why they haven't posted anything because they split up? No, she's stuck with me.
More like he's stuck with me.
I mean, either way, 6 of one, half a dozen of another. But we got a little. We're gonna go back to how we had things, at least for this episode, for the most part.
Before we get into all that, we kind of have to give them updates about us.
There's really not been a whole lot of updates. There's nothing major has happened yet.
November.
Yet.
November.
What about November?
I can't see. I don't know what's going on.
That is. Anyways, I've had some health issues, and that's where I'm going to draw the line at that.
And we've all had COVID. Yes.
Yeah.
All at the same time, all 5 of us.
But because there's nothing really major else that's been popping up, I can't think of anything. Like, life has been going on.
Even with medical issues for the both of us and all of us having COVID, we're doing pretty good.
Yep. So, like I was saying, we are going to go back to how it was, show format wise. Every once in a while, we will have one of those weird shows where it's just going to be one of those weird podcasts. I can't really say shows, but one of those weird podcasts where we'll only talk about one topic. And as much as I would love for this one to be another one of those, Midget brought up a very good point. We have a couple of things that are, one of them is extremely serious to talk about. One of them is just kind of, it's not normally my cup of tea, mainly because I'm one of those big believers in it's none of my business. However, touching into some of these subject matter of what's been going on strikes home for me. And then, of course, she brought up something that's a little bit lighter, and
We have to end on a happy note.
yeah, this, for those who are listening, this is going to be a heavier episode, and we're going to try to make everything light again at the end. This is your warning. We are going to be talking about what's been going on in Ukraine. We both stand with Ukraine. So if you guys are
110%.
if you guys are listening from Ukraine, we stand with you. You have our support. We are trying to figure something out so we can do more for you guys. But you guys are in our prayers. You guys are in our thoughts. Keep fighting for your independence.
Putin, if you hear this, burn in hell.
We're also going to be talking about what's been going on with Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard, and the mess and bullshit that is. And then, because it's Midget's topic, we're going to end on prom. For those who celebrate or know what prom is. For those who don't know what prom is, typically it is the end of year final dance. Primarily it is for seniors, but juniors can partake in it because there are some juniors that do graduate early, depending on how hard they worked before, in the grades beforehand. And seniors and juniors can invite pretty much anybody across the different grades. So we are going to be we're going to be trying to end it on a high note with that. But first topic, first thing.
He's trying to figure out how to phrase this without offending. Well, actually, we just don't give a shit. Offend Russia all you want. Anyway.
So first things first, we are going to talk about Ukraine. And the fight and the struggle and the crimes against humanity and the crimes that the Kremlin and Putin are doing and committing, and the fact that even with this gigantic fucking nation of Russia, right?
They still are losing.
They are
at this
still
point.
getting our asses handed to them by Ukraine.
And see, here's the thing I don't get. Humanity has a hard time learning lessons. But you figure with the Holocaust and World War II and Hitler being who he was, you think people would learn their lesson not to piss off the wrong people.
Well, I mean, here's the thing.
Not that that's don't take that the wrong way. I realize how that's phrased. But you figure somebody like Putin would,
who is ex-military, by the way. He served. I don't know if they're required to serve, but he did. He was part of the intelligence, I believe. Might be wrong. Section of Russia's army.
Well, then he needs to go back to that because he's not very intelligent now.
I'm not defending him. I just have opinions. But even with what Russia has available to them, even with the weapons and the air support and the naval support and the their army.
You can't even say the support of their army because half of them are starting to walk away.
Well,
and
yeah, that is true.
Putin's a moron.
But they still are getting their asses handed to them by in comparison, a tiny fucking nation. Don't get me wrong. Ukraine houses a lot of people. Over 5 million people. Over 5 million people have fled Ukraine, and there are still plenty of Ukrainians fighting to the point where Russia couldn't. They had surrounded Kyiv, and they could not capture Kyiv.
Recapture.
Could not. No, capture. Ukraine never lost it in the first place.
Yeah, they did.
No, they didn't. They lost certain sections, but they could not capture the entire city. Russia got their asses handed to them and sent packing, and now they're trying to go to the Donbass area And the Ukrainians are still like, yeah, no, keep going. Granted, there are some sections of Ukraine that have been taken, and the photography and the videos and the testimonies of the people coming out of those areas are heartbreaking.
What testimony? Half of them are dead because they were shot in the streets and buried in a mass grave.
The ones who survived, who made it out.
117 people in a small 2-block radius that were trying to hide with their families. They were shot and killed. They were talking.
They weren't shot. Let's get one thing straight. They were executed. They had their hands bound, and they were shot in the back of the head.
And then they turn around, and the survivors, like you said, that have come out of these cities and stuff like that, and even Russian military members that have left, that have fled, they have said that there was talks and laughter and everything else about prominent military members, people in charge of these sects of the military, or like flanks of the military, were talking about and bragging about the rape of 13-year-old children.
Trust me, I'm right there with you.
Who in their right fucking mind would think, oh, we're going to take over a country. What's the first thing we're going to do? We're going to rape and murder your children.
In the context of war, when the invading army is always going to try to do something to break morale. They're always going to try to do something that's going to break the spirit of the people, so that way it makes things easier. But the reverse, or the other side of that coin, where it pisses them off more than it breaks their spirit, it's a gambit. Because people are either going to break and leave and surrender, or they're going to do what the Ukrainians did, and it's going to piss them off. And they're going to come back harder and stronger, and they're going to fight harder, and they're going to whoop anybody who comes into their area to do it again.
And I'm sorry, I have to say this part. Zelensky, goat, man.
Bamf.
Goat.
Bamf. Bamf goat. Goat Bamf. Dude, Zelensky
straps on, gear.
Here's the thing about
weapons.
Here's the
he
thing.
Don't give a shit.
Here's the thing about President Zelensky.
Safe.
Okay. Here's the thing about President Zelensky that most people, they either forgot or they know and they just slipped their mind. Whatever. How he even became president. Zelensky originally was a comedian in Ukraine who was on a show where he played a comedian who ended up being voted in as president in the show. Fast forward a few years, and it actually happened. He was a comedian who got voted in, and now he has gone from he has taken the weight and the responsibility of being a president of a country above and beyond what most rulers would do. He is actively going into these war zones, helping fighting, helping get supplies, going to the EU, going to the United States, going to all these countries, asking for help, while he is still going and being on the front lines with his people.
And that's exactly how it should be.
Fucking Bamf. Zelensky has my respect.
If I had to live anywhere outside of this country, I'd be like, okay, let's go to the Ukraine.
Let's go. I want a leader like Zelensky. I'm just saying that right now. I want somebody who's like Zelensky, who's not afraid to go ahead and be like, you know what? Time to nut up or shut up. And guess what?
Dude's got balls.
Oh, yeah.
A big brass ones,
Oh, yeah. Especially giving the middle finger to fucking Putin. Like, we have countries in the world that are terrified of Russia. Just like we have countries in the world that are terrified of the United States. But the difference is, the U.S., people know we're a sleeping giant. You know, Japan found that out. Sorry, I don't know if it's the too soon part, but like even the Japanese Navy, one of the admirals in the Japanese Navy is like, we have awoken a sleeping giant. We've lost a lot of that, I feel like, because we are so fractured as a country.
We're so afraid to offend people.
But fucking Ukraine don't give a fuck right now. They're like, everyone, even the opposition to Zelensky is like, no, we're going to set that shit aside, and we are going to protect and defend our home. And we may not agree with this president. We may not agree with this leader in a political sense, but we are going to back that motherfucker, and we are going to make sure that
we do what it takes.
We stand
to
as a
home.
united country. And there's not a lot of places in this world that can say that right now.
And it's funny, it's like everybody's like, wow, they're so surprised that Ukraine is like pushing back and standing up, and it's like, dude, big things come in small packages. I wouldn't want to piss him off. I wouldn't want to piss that country off, because you know what, like you said, you've got these people that are so peaceful and so calm, and a leader that cracks jokes and has fun with his people.
But knows when to be serious about it too.
Exactly.
You know, there are very few countries that I can even think of that have something like that. Everyone's always fighting in these other countries and within their own fucking political system. Whether they're fighting, like take us for example. Our Senate can't seem to get their shit together. Our House of Representatives can't seem to get their shit together. And Congress itself most of it can't even get along with the president to the point to get anything fucking done.
Sorry. You know what a group of baboons is called?
Yeah, I know.
A Congress.
Mm-hmm. But then we look overseas, we look outward, and we see this country fighting for its survival to be an independent nation. And they are taking on one of the superpowers in this world. And they're winning.
Like seriously, Zelensky is pretty much telling Putin, stick it up your ass.
And it's fucking fantastic. I hate the fact, and don't get me wrong, I hate the fact that we are having to witness an invasion by another country for some bullshit reason that even in Russia, they have censored all of it, and they are brainwashing most of their citizens into saying Ukraine asked for it because they did this, and they have some bullshit made up reason.
And that's mostly people that are centered around the political system in Russia.
They have locked out. They have locked out other countries, other news stations, other than a state-sponsored news station.
Yeah.
They have locked out a lot of the outside internet. Like they've pretty much taken the internet and made it just inside of Russia. They've blocked Facebook, they've blocked Twitter, they've blocked Instagram. Like they've blocked all these things, that way their citizens don't know, and yet news is still coming to these citizens because of their families. And the fucked up thing is, a lot of these older generation families that are within Russia are not believing what their children and what their relatives are saying that are living outside of Russia.
Yeah, and that's because of the blockages. But can you imagine the dissension in the ranks that's going to come once those citizens who are like, yeah, Putin, once they find out and start believing what is being told to them? Can you imagine how fucked Putin's going to be in the end?
He's just going to shoot everybody.
Well,
I hate to say that.
That dude can't hold a gun to save his life.
Yeah, he can. But no. And the fucked up thing is, because I don't want to bring what we are going through as a country in, because we're talking about Ukraine. However, a lot of what is going on by the Russian government is eerily similar. And that's all I'm going to say about that. It is so eerily similar that it's scary to think this could be our future if certain things were to pass, were to come, were to happen. And it scares the shit out of me.
It scares me, the fact that we're still talking about, like, the enslavement or downright execution of an entire nation. Well, at least the attempted execution of an entire nation. But you get my point.
I get you.
It's like, it's 2022. How the hell are we still in a state of stupidity as humanity as a whole, that we have these issues still?
I can answer that.
How?
I can answer that. It's because people fear change. The ones in power don't want to lose power. So they do whatever they can to hang on to that. The ones who want changed are silenced. Whether it's politically, whether it's cancel culture, whether it's smear campaigns and defamation, whatever, they are silenced because it doesn't agree with the narrative that those in power want to hear.
I can tell you one thing, and this is the last thing I'm going to say on this subject in particular, is that I would like front row tickets to Putin's execution.
That's the thing. If it happens.
Oh no, I can guarantee you that if the UN and everybody has their way about it, especially with the comments that our president has made about this being a war crime that Putin is committing, I can guarantee you somebody's gonna execute his ass.
Well, here's the problem.
I volunteer as tribute.
No. Here's the problem. Putin is a world. He is a leader on a global scale, right? And in terms of the world, he is one of the leaders. Attempting to go ahead and punish him for things that happen is going to be extremely difficult. And when I say extremely difficult, I mean all but damn near impossible.
I could give him a cave idea that he could hide in.
No. Because all he has to do is never leave the country. That's it. What are people going to do? Go in and get him? No. He'll go ahead and say, oh, this is an invasion, and declare war on whoever the fuck is there and whoever's allied with them. And then, oh, hey, look, World War III. Oh, shit, guess what? Russia has nukes. He's already threatened to unleash his nukes if any country was to officially, outwardly support Ukraine or interfere with this operation in a way that it would harm Russia. He has already said that he is willing to go ahead and hit that big ass red button and send off the big boom booms, and which ultimately would spark a world war with nukes. And I can almost guarantee you what one country that has nukes is what side they're going to pick. $10. North Korea sides with Russia.
Oh yeah, because they're both morons.
Because of the political state of both countries.
They're both nuclear powerhouses.
China's a toss-up, I'm going to be honest. While China is communist, yes, I think they're more wary.
The people.
Well, no, they're more wary on things. Like, they've already had lots of eyes on them over the last couple of years. Like, almost like scarily on them. Oh no, I will say it is scarily on them. They've been inspected, they've had all of these things, and they can see what is going on right now.
All the while, Russia slipped under the proverbial nuclear radar.
Hmm?
And here's
well,
the
not
thing,
really. I mean,
we slipped under the quote
not...
unquote slipped under the radar, and this is why I say this, because it's one of those things where you know they have them, you know what's going on, but nobody ever does anything.
It's not that they slipped under the radar. You kidding me? We've had Russia under surveillance since Cold War ended, quote unquote. Russia and the United States have been sniping back and forth between ourselves.
Yeah.
Like, so it's not like, oh, wait, they have nukes? No, we know that they have
nukes.
We know what's been going on with them.
But everybody's too much of a pussy to be like, I'm going to do something about this.
At that point, we didn't have any reason to do anything about it. Just like they didn't have any reasons to do anything about us. We have nukes. You don't see Russia going ahead and we should do something about them damn nukes and I don't know why I'm suddenly Southern, but like, you get my point.
Exactly.
So it was like a like we knew, they knew, and they knew that we knew. But we were just going to be like, okay, we won't do anything to you. You don't do anything to us. Deal? Deal. That was it.
Yeah.
But once all this shit started, I'm extremely surprised in what our government, and I'm not just talking about one person, I'm talking about the entirety of the fucking system. I'm extremely surprised at the lack of response. We had more of a response when that journalist was killed by Bonesaw Prince in Saudi Arabia. We had more of a response with them than what we do with an entire country being invaded. The fuck's up with that?
Here's the deal. That journalist was an American.
I'm not 100% sure. I will have to double check it. Because from what I'm aware of, he was a journalist from Saudi Arabia. And see, if he was a citizen, he was an immigrated citizen. But he was originally not, he was from outside the United States, I believe. Once again, we'll have to fact check it. And if it is different, we'll go ahead and make a correction on it later. I'm just saying, I don't believe that he was, I believe that he was from outside of the United States.
Think of it like this. Okay. World War II. We didn't get involved in World War II until after the attack on Japan.
From Japan.
You know what I mean. When Pearl Harbor was attacked, we didn't get involved in World War II until after that.
Yeah.
Because nobody had done anything terrible to us. Why are we going to step in? And that's still the same thought today. Is it wrong? Yes. Is it right? Yes. Because whereas we don't want to get involved until something happens, why aren't we going to defend people that have done us no wrong? Why aren't we going to help the Ukrainians? Why aren't we going to help the citizens that are fleeing to our country?
Oh, we are. Like, they've recently gone ahead and changed how the refugee thing is happening. They have to come in through an approved area. So all those refugees that are coming, trying to get through on the border of the United States and Mexico, they're being held right now and they could be sent away, and that's the fucked up thing.
And that's the scary thing.
Yeah, it truly, it really is, and there's not a whole lot we can do about it at this point. So at that point, with that being said, we're going to move, switch topics, so to speak.
Putin's still
Um,
a bitch.
oh yeah, that's something we can both agree to. Um,
Speaking of bitches,
I somehow knew you were going to go there. We've got to talk about what's been going on between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Is that her name? I think that's her name. Yeah, Amber Heard.
cunt.
Now, you can't say stuff like that.
Bullshit.
You can't say stuff like that. That's how this whole fucking situation started in the first place. She started talking shit and was like, and was responded with, "Hey, you're dragging my name in the mud." And she's like, "No, I'm not." And then they went to the UK, and then she didn't get what she wanted there. So now she's back. She's here in the United States in Virginia, and
Still not getting her way.
trying to get away with stuff. And the fucked up thing is, the fucked up thing and the most wonderful thing is that she's losing. At least in a lot of the court of public opinion, she is losing.
What's even funnier is the fact that her own defense team is sticking their feet in her mouth.
Oh yeah. Well, and she actually had her girlfriend get banned from the courthouse
Oh,
because
she's not my girlfriend.
she was on her phone texting or tweeting,
Live tweeting
what was going on after being instructed,
by
one
the judge.
one that she can't sit in the front row. She had to move to the back. She moved, got on her phone and started live tweeting, and then was escorted out by the officer of the court.
Who busted her?
And then the next day they're like, about that. And the fucked up thing is, the thing that she was trying to go ahead and do was the very thing that she got caught. What she was doing was what she was doing and trying to give to Amber's lawyers was a falsified Instagram photo.
It wasn't falsified.
No,
it
it
was just
was.
taken
No,
completely
no,
out
no,
of
no, 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 no,
timeline.
no, no, no. It was falsified because while it did happen, it happened in the UK trial.
Yeah.
And what she was doing was editing the photo to take out to eliminate the date that that photo was posted to Instagram, to make it seem like the person who was on the stand, I think her name is Ginger, was doing the
Something
same
like
thing that she got kicked out
Georgia.
for.
Georgia.
Was it Georgia? I don't
I think so.
remember. Ginger
We'll
or
have to
Georgia? It
check
starts
that.
with a G.
And
But
see, the thing
she was trying to help the defense out by discrediting and getting the witness banned for doing the same thing
that she herself got banned for in
that
the end.
she got kicked out for.
And the thing is my favorite part, and that somebody on YouTube that we watched yesterday, it kind of cracked me up, was the fact that the lawyer, Amber Heard's lawyer,
Which one? The old one or
the creepy white lady,
Oh, okay.
she was like, "Oh, I didn't know her, I don't know her," and then she's like, Amber's winking at her
No, no, no,
lawyer,
no, no, no.
or
The girlfriend was winking at the lawyer.
yeah, it's like, yeah, you don't know her.
Well, here's something that you may not know because I watched it shortly before getting on here. So, one of the pieces of evidence that was being used or trying to be used to discredit or throw shade on one of the witnesses for Johnny Isaac was that she had this miracle cure-all blend foundation thing, right?
Yeah.
Not only does she say it incorrectly, and I'm not even going to try, but not only was she incorrectly labeling this cream stuff or this foundation, but
Oh, was it
the
that one that the
makeup
lawyer was
manufacturer
like,
the makeup manufacturer discredited Amber and what her lawyer said, because in the opening statement the lawyer went ahead and pulled out the makeup tin, makeup case, whatever, that Amber supposedly was using,
Yeah.
The entire relationship, right?
Yeah.
So they got together in like 2012, married at 2018 or 2015, and divorced in 2017. Now, granted, they didn't list what date this makeup thing came out, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know when Johnny and Amber got divorced, but the maker of the makeup went ahead and said this makeup wasn't even put out until 2017. So how in the hell did Amber Heard have this cure all, conceal all, la di da makeup? How did she have it the entire relationship?
Well, not only that, but she's like, "Oh, this is the end all be all cover up. This can cover up anything." And there's been several people that have come since that statement was made that are like, "No, it doesn't. I got hit in the eye with such and such." Or there was one TikToker that I had watched that had gotten hit during a co-ed softball game with a softball
Right.
straight through the catcher's mask.
Straight in the dome.
Oh, straight through the fucking catcher's mask.
We
And
are sorry. We're not laughing because we enjoy people's pain. It's just this shit. I've had that happen to me before.
yeah, but she got hit in the face with a ball, and she had a massive black eye, and she was like, "Oh, I got told about this." Hell no. That makeup did not cover up that bruise. All it did was made her look like a raccoon.
Well, and here's the other thing, and this is why I wanted to talk about this. Amber's the whole how this whole thing started was she put an op-ed in one of the big time newspapers. I don't know if it was the Washington Post, the New York Times, one of those big ones, right?
Yeah.
About talking about how she was abused mentally and physically by Johnny Depp. And then during the trial in Virginia,
The
there was
audio.
audio played of Amber talking to Johnny saying, "Hey, you can go ahead and try to say that you, a man, you, Johnny Depp, were abused physically, and no one's going to believe." I'm paraphrasing, obviously, but and no one's going to believe you. I could
Yeah,
go ahead and
I
say
hit
the
you,
same thing.
but I hit you, but they're not going to do anything to me
They
because I'm
won't
a
bel
woman.
they won't believe you because you're a man who's claiming physical assault. Here's why that irritates the fuck out of me. There are plenty, and I'm not going to deny this fact. Women are physically assaulted more in this country, in the world, and it pisses me off. It really does. I cannot stand to hear about physical abuse in any way, shape, or form, whether it's women being abused, whether it's children being abused, or whether it's men being abused. Because, fancy fun fact, men do get physically abused. And typically it's by women who
Think
are,
they're untouchable.
well, it's not only that they think they're untouchable, okay? It's not that. They get abused by these women because the man is he has a submissive mentality. He doesn't like fighting. He doesn't like arguing. He's non-confrontational. And some of these women that these men go ahead and they get into a relationship with, whether it's they marry them, they're just dating them, they're friends with benefits with them, or however any sort of transaction happens, they will get abused by these women and say nothing. And it's not because they're scared, it's because no one is going to believe them. Nobody. And it irritates the fuck out of me because in a world where everyone should have equal rights, everyone's voice should be heard. I mean, for fuck's sake, we have cancel culture coming out of our assholes about just about any fucking thing. However, when it comes to men putting these claims forward, I was abused. Nobody believes them. Or it's very rare that anybody believes them. Why? Because they're men. Men are big. Men don't get abused. Men are incapable of being physically abused. Bullshit. I know plenty of women who lift more than I do, who hit harder than I do, who are trained in martial arts or they're trained in some form of combative arts, whether it's boxing or kickboxing or wrestling, whatever. They could kick the shit out of any man. And yet women are looked at as, oh, they're the weaker ones, right? No, 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 no. They're not in any way, shape, or form. Here's the bottom line. Anyone can abuse anybody. It doesn't matter. You could be a child abusing your parents. You could be parents abusing your children, young or old, male or female, or anywhere in between there. Anyone can abuse anybody, and you have a right to be heard and not be looked down on, and not to have lies said about you and slander and libel and have these things spread all around to people that you know. And then
Your livelihood threatened because
oh, his livelihood is fucking gone. He went ahead and he was asked by a lawyer, "What have you lost since then?" And he said practically almost everything. The only thing that he hasn't is his children. And that's fucked up. And the fact that when he went ahead and said that this bullshit cost him pirates, she smirked.
yeah,
Anytime there's any sort of indication that something that she did caused him pain, she smirks. She's enjoying this.
oh, she's torturing left, right, and center. She's copying every outfit he's wearing.
And how his hair is.
Mm-hmm.
And yet she's still trying to play the victim. But fancy fun fact, it ain't working. Even
She can play the victim all she wants.
and right now, I think the best and I'm not defending what she's doing. Okay? I'm really not. But the only thing that I could think that would save her in this instance is if somehow, some way, a mistrial was declared. That is the only way that she does not walk out of there losing. Because I think personally, with the way things are going, if they were to go to the jury right now, I'm willing to wager that she would be found like he would win and she would lose.
Oh yeah.
Because with the amount of evidence, with the amount of bullshit that even her own assistant
Her own doctor
has stated, paints this in a very negative light for her. And the only way that she can get out of this and potentially try again is to get a mistrial.
I mean,
and they're already setting the stage for that, unfortunately. I just saw a thing earlier where people are going around putting little flyers on everyone's car at the courthouse, which ultimately includes jurors, saying that Johnny has bots and people and companies that are turning everybody against Amber and this, that, and the other thing. And what's going to happen is jurors are going to start getting questioned and or admitting stuff and getting themselves having to be removed because they're not even supposed to do any sort of research on what's going on.
it's either that or it's going to end up being a sequestered jury.
I don't know. But the only way that I can see her getting out of this, not losing, is to have a mistrial.
Yeah.
because otherwise she is going, in my personal opinion, with the way that things are right now, she's not winning this.
Nope.
And now, granted, I don't believe that the defense has called up any of their witnesses yet. Right now, I think it's just been Johnny's team, uh, their turn. So I don't know if the defense has done theirs yet. I haven't been watching the live streams or anything, um, but from what I can tell, there's still another part of this that could happen, and anything is possible. Like there could be some miracle evidence that pops up from Amber's team that just flips everything on its head, and that's what kills everything. But with the way that her team is stalling for time right now,
Sorry if you guys hear
it
noises.
is
The wind is crazy.
it
right
is
now.
very unlikely that she is going to walk out of here the victor. And I hope and
That's
I pray.
the sad part.
I hope and I pray that she doesn't. And I hope and I pray that he gets justice for this bullshit.
And the thing is my thought on the whole situation: physical, emotional, mental, sexual, whatever abuse anybody is suffering. There are two sides to that. If you are a victim and you make an accusation, I pray that you get justice.
Well, I pray that you are being
Truthful. And that's the other side to it. If you are a quote unquote victim and you're lying out your ass, you should see and you deserve the same punishment as those who actually hurt somebody.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm sorry, when you turn somebody's life upside down by an accusation that's blatantly false, you deserve to get the same punishment as if they would have actually hurt you. It's one of those, if you're going to accuse me of it, I'm going to do it, except for the fact that it's like, if you're going to accuse me of it, then you deserve to be punished.
Hold up. Let me correct how you're saying it. Because the way that you're saying it is, if, let's say, you were to lie and say that I smacked the shit out of you, the way that you made it sound is, if it came out that you didn't lie, I actually get to smack the shit out of you. No. That's not what we're saying.
No, and that's
What we're saying is, if you lie about something like this, and that person is supposed to get like 10 years behind bars, if you're caught lying about it, you should get the 10 years behind bars.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Sorry if it came across terrible, but my brain, my thoughts are just like all jumbled because I'm so pissed. It's like, and the thing is the thing she's saying about Johnny Depp and accusing him of, like, how, I don't get why people would. I'm not saying I know the situation, because frankly what happens behind their doors is their business and nobody else's, but I don't get why somebody would lie about things like that, especially when we've heard during this trial so far testimony in her voice, her words, saying that yes, she hit him. What are you going to do?
Well, I can tell you, it's all about that money.
She
didn't get everything that she wanted.
$7 million that I got in a divorce settlement. I donated it.
I don't want, so I'm going to donate it to the Children's Hospital in Los Angeles and the ACLU. Oh, by the way, they haven't gotten any fucking
bill
thing.
Collectors have come around saying she hasn't donated shit.
Well, it's because of this trial that no.
You had the money 6 months before this trial began. I don't want to hear it.
Add into the fact that you are a actress. You are an actor. Like, you have your own money.
You've continued to make money.
So like, don't try that bullshit. I hate to say that. Don't. Or I don't hate to say it. Don't try that bullshit. You know.
She's continued to make money
Oh
from
yeah.
films and stuff like
Oh
that
yeah.
since their divorce. But because of the accusations and the torment that she's causing, he hasn't been able to do shit. He lost his one of his biggest things.
Oh yeah. He lost Pirates. He will not work for like Disney's already stated no, and that's fucked up.
And if it comes out that she was lying or that Johnny is exonerated of all these charges, then I think that he should be able to get that back.
I think he should just be able to get the money for it. Like if he doesn't want to work with them again, that's his choice, and I will fully support that. And whatever company that whatever movie place that he goes to next, I will go ahead and watch his movie. I don't care what the fuck it is. But the biggest piece of evidence that they had was a video that was one illegally recorded. She was recording a video and it was about cabinets. He did not
Yeah,
like
he
how
was
the cabinets
slamming the cabinets.
he did not like how the cabinets turned out. And she was like, "This is proof that when he gets drunk and he's on these drugs, this is how he gets." Here's the fucked up thing. In the video that was captured, yes, he was slamming cabinets, and technically that can be considered that could be some form of physical abuse because you're expressing anger in front of somebody. Two things with that. One, even while he was doing that, he was still very calm. He wasn't yelling. He may have raised his voice a little bit, but he wasn't yelling. He didn't break anything.
He wasn't directing that anger towards her.
And the second thing, and the most important part of that, and I hope to God that Johnny's team uses something similar to what I'm about to say, is if that is the case, then every couple, every parent, every child in America
That has slammed a door.
that has slammed a door, slammed a cupboard, slammed their fist against something, punched a wall, punched a door, they all deserve to, they're all abusers and they all deserve to go to jail.
Hitting the wall or slamming a door is like hitting me in the face. No, you know what's like hitting you in the face?
Actually hitting you in the face. But no, they need to use that. Because here's the problem humans have emotions, and 97% of humans, when they get angry enough, they will let it out. There are a percentage of those people who actually let it out against their partner, and I'm not going to ever deny that part.
They're
Physical
still human
violence,
garbage.
violence against spouses, against partners is still a thing. But there's a larger majority of those who just they hit a wall, they hit the bed, they punch a cabinet, they slam a door
They punch a refrigerator.
and break their knuckles.
Yep.
But if they're trying to go ahead and say that Johnny abused her because he slammed a couple cabinet doors, then her chucking a bottle at him, that is worse than slamming a door. Because that's actually committing an act of violence on a person, not on an inanimate object, on an actual living, breathing, sentient person. And whether or not he was on drugs, so he wasn't fully conscious or not, it doesn't fucking matter. If she wants to go ahead and claim that he abused her because he slammed a cabinet door, then she needs to admit that she abused him because of the exact same bullshit, and even one step further, that she's done to him.
Here's my thing: if she was so afraid of him, and she was being abused by him slamming cabinets, instead of recording, why didn't she just turn around and walk the 50 feet the other direction and go out the door?
Or instead of recording, how about you use that phone, if it was a phone,
Oh,
or
it was phone.
no, I don't know if it was a phone or if it was a laptop. I can't remember what exactly it was, but she was recording something and it was stationary. It was set up on something. You could see both him and her walking in front of this camera. And then he noticed that it was on and didn't say anything about it.
Yeah.
But why didn't she call the police at that point? because it wasn't.
And here's my other thing. She talks about all these drugs and all this alcohol and yada yada that he was on and
Oh no,
all
he
this
was
that and the
on
other.
these.
Oh yeah, I know. But instead of taking pictures or video or something like that, if you see it's a problem, why don't you walk away? For one. For two, if you see it's a problem, why are you going to take pictures of the evidence instead of just calling the cops if you are that afraid?
Because here's the problem. It was in her presence. She could be charged. That's the thing. She wanted to get evidence of it because she knew, just like you and I both know, that in the end, that something like this was going to happen. She wanted it just in case she needed blackmail.
I'm sorry to say this, but was as skinny as she was probably doing drugs too.
Oh, I have no doubt that she partakes. I mean, she admitted that she's been on Ambien in the video where Johnny goes ahead and says that whole conversation that happened where she was like, what are you gonna do? Tell people that I was hit, that I, Johnny Depp, a man, was hit. Johnny even said, if you don't remember the last night, then I don't think you need to be on that. She goes, I was on an Ambien and this happened. If Ambien makes you trip balls like that, maybe you shouldn't be on it. Another famous
With
person.
his nostrils as big as her, she probably sticks that
Well,
milkshake straw up her nose and
and here's
you
the thing.
stay skinny because it's sniffany.
Another celebrity was on Ambien, and he got clean. His name is Eminem, Marshall Mathers. That was his drug of choice, was Ambien, because he could not sleep, or he had
Yep.
problems sleeping, and then he got addicted to it, and then you can see it in his music.
Yep.
The whole Relapse album, Bagpipes from Baghdad. Like, really? You're trying to tell me that the album before then, that was a little more serious and all of that, to Relapse, to then rehab, when he realized and he got called out on having this problem and he got help for it. You can see it right there that he was on something.
Yeah.
And he realized that he had a problem. This is a wake up call, Amber. If somebody is calling you out for something like this, stop using whatever medication you are using. Like, if it causes you this type of this if it causes this reaction, you shouldn't be on it in the first fucking place. And while Johnny has gone ahead and said, "Yeah, I was on drugs. I've done cocaine. I've smoked marijuana. I've done Adderall." He's admitted it. She, on the other hand, I do nothing wrong. I couldn't. No, I do nothing wrong. No, bullshit. You're an abuser. You're a liar. You're a snake. You do not deserve to have a right to speak in this trial. You don't deserve, and this is just my personal opinion. I believe that you don't deserve to go ahead and to be present. If you're going to be doing anything, you need to either be phoned in or videoed in. You don't deserve to be in the same room as this man. You don't deserve this, whatever fame is going to happen because of this.
I'm sorry to say, well, actually, I'm not sorry to say that she needs to lose her livelihood.
She did. Warner Brothers won't work with her anymore. She was in Aquaman, and after this happened, she's not going to be able to work for Warner Brothers anymore.
I know, but she needs to lose a lot more than that because
Oh yeah.
she needs to have a major wake up call.
Oh yeah. Like, if this is what it takes to get you woken up, to be like, hey, then by all means, lose. Please lose. And don't ever try this shit again. Seriously. All right. So with that
On a lighter note,
with that note being that's where we're gonna end that part because I mean we could seriously talk about this all day and go over everything. Um, I think it's time to move on a little bit
yeah.
because
Let's move on to a
we've
happier note.
well somewhat happier. I mean, let me
For
let me let
kids,
me
it's happier.
let me transition poorly into this next into the last topic here. When you were in high school, how many proms did you go to?
Two. Actually, one and a half.
Okay. I technically went to three. Granted, one of those I was out of high school. Um, a friend of mine, old friend of mine, went ahead and I had owed them a favor, and they had called in said favor, and I went to I attended prom with them. While I was after I'd been graduated, they were a couple of years behind me. Um, but while I was in high school, I had went to prom for the girl who I was dating at the time, and then the very next week was mine, and I took her to that one. I just we rented the suit for the week, and it was fantastic. I had a nice Mandarin style shirt, and for those who don't know what Mandarin style is, it is the collarless shirt. It doesn't have the little tuck down flaps for you to have like a bow tie. It had a uh, straight up button, and then at the very top where the collar piece was, I had one center button that was a bit bigger, and you put a button cover over that. I had a nice pair of slacks. I had an iridescent blue vest, shiny ass shoes, chloroframs for military folks who know what chloroframs are. By the way, they're fantastic. If you're in the military and you don't own a pair of chloroframs, get them. They're great. You can shine them using Windex. Um, and I had a Western style suit jacket. So it had the really long tail. It had like it wasn't like a traditional tuxedo. It was a longer coat. Um, and that is what I wore, and that was fantastic. And then when I went to the one that my friend had called in a favor on, I just wore a regular suit, red shirt, black tie, black suit. Unfortunately, I was one of those idiots. I had a fedora, um, and I thought I was cool because I had a fedora. It really didn't fit my head, but my shirt matched the person who I was taking their dress, and it was overall she looked gorgeous, and I will fully say that with you being here, she looked gorgeous in that dress,
Oh, I've seen pictures.
and it was. Can you attest to that?
Yeah.
So I think I look good,
You look
minus the
good, but you look
fedora.
like a goofball with it just sitting on top of your head. Almost reminds me of one of those really big headed people that has a really tiny hat.
You know what? My head
To
is
go box hat.
my head is perfectly sized for my body.
Okay, Bobby's World.
Shut up. What about you? What was your outfit consisted of, Cinderella?
Uh, Junior year, I had a floor length spaghetti strap backless dress. These spaghetti straps were the kind that kind of went from the front all the way down to the back, the lower back, instead of having a higher back dress or whatever.
Okay, I don't know anything about dresses, so
And it had a slit on the right side that went up to about mid thigh.
which is not very far.
No. And I wore silver heels.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is why she's called midget.
I'm only 5 foot tall.
She is short.
Shut the fuck up.
I can no longer deny it. I must admit the truth. I am small.
Yes. But no, like I had it was a white corsage, and I had bought my date a really nice boutonniere for him.
What color was your dress?
It was silver and white. It was floral. I actually still have it. It's out there.
Oh, really?
Yes.
You can't fit it, can you?
I look like I'm 6 months pregnant. I don't know if I could zip it up though.
That's why, and don't get me wrong, I'm not poking fun at her. It is just a back and forth that her and I have. I am a rather rotund individual. And when I first
Now
got
I'm
into a
curious.
relationship with you, you could admit it, you were scarily unhealthily thin.
Yeah, I look like Amber Heard doing drugs.
Hey,
Sorry.
we've moved on. But since you and I have gotten together, you've been forced pretty much to change how you eat, what you eat, and your eating cycle. Am I correct in saying that?
Ish.
No, not ish.
I still eat like a cow,
No,
but
no, no,
now I
no,
just
no.
keep the weight.
No. Here's the difference.
I actually eat.
Here's the difference. Before, you maybe had like a very small helping, like something that you would give like a 2 year old who's just learning how to use silverware, to eat. You would eat something that small. Or if we had something that had multiple pieces, you would get like halfway through a single slice of pizza, for example, and be like, I'm done. And then, that would be it. And you'd
Most of
eat that
that
maybe like once or twice.
most of that is attributed to the fact that I was so sick for so long.
Yeah. And then you got with me and you got healthy.
I
And
got
then you got
I had
unhealthy because you got fat.
I had surgery. I had surgery to solve the primary issue that I was having, that I'd been having for a decade before.
And I am,
And I don't know if this kind of on a tangent, it's polycystic ovarian disease, and it caused bad cysts, and it was just very painful.
she was hurting all the time. And I am only kidding about the fat thing.
Oh,
Like
I'm
my
fat.
way, Midget is gorgeous. I love this woman to death.
I went from 84 pounds to 158 pounds, and probably a little more because the weight you're losing, I'm finding.
Nah.
But now I'm kind of curious if my prom dress might fit.
Anyways, going back to that, so that was junior prom. What about senior prom?
I don't remember. I was drunk.
Oh,
I don't. I
well, you
didn't.
are you okay? Okay, let me back
I
that up.
didn't make
We
it.
do not condone underage drinking
No, do not do as I do. Do as I say. Don't drink.
while you're underage,
Exactly.
because then you don't remember prom.
No, like I know I didn't make it inside the building for senior prom
Do you remember what your
because
outfit was?
I was in a t-shirt and jeans.
All right, so you weren't even planning on going inside,
No, I had my dress. It was a light blue. It
and
was
then it
not a
turned.
light blue after we vomited on it.
It then turned into a seafoam green.
No, it was more like a Jackson Pollock painting. Because I can't tell you what all we were drinking. All I know is I had a 2 liter of Hawaiian Punch with Everclear in it.
So then you know what you were drinking.
Oh no, I
Everclear and
don't know
Hawaiian
what
Punch.
I don't know what all colors. Like I said, it was a Jackson Pollock painting because there was like 30 of us. We made it to the far parking lot of our high school where we met up with everybody, and then we were supposed to have somebody drive us there because most of us had been drinking pre-gaming. We'll call it pre-gaming.
Did you have anybody try to, when you were at junior prom, did you ever hear anybody, like people saying, hey, don't drink this because it's been spiked?
No, but there was some mysterious brownies that were on the teacher's table.
Seriously?
Yeah, somebody spiked the brownie, made pot brownies and put it on the teacher's table, or I should say the chaperone table.
Uh-huh.
And we had some pretty hilarious teachers by the end of the night.
When I went to the third one, when I went with a friend of mine, um, because the first two that I went to, I had water. I didn't want to. I was already nervous and shaking, and I'd been with this girl for a couple of months, so it wasn't even like I was nervous to be out in public with her. I don't do large groups of people. I was a little jittery already, so I just had water. And then when I went to the one that my friend had called in a favor for, um, there was talk. One of her friends and one of the people that I knew had come up to me and had whispered in my ear, "Hey, don't drink the lemonade. Somebody spiked the lemonade." And
Mm.
I'm like, I'm over 21. I don't give a fuck. And then I looked over at my date, and they were like, "You're not drinking the lemonade." I'm like, "I am not drinking the lemonade," because we at that point we I will fully admit, while we were in high school together, we had an on again off again type of relationship.
Yeah.
It started off as she was sitting next to me and I was copying off of her in a computer programming class because she understood the C++ language way better than I did. And so she had to show me, and I was copying some of what she was doing. And then when it came to other parts, other coding, I we did the same thing, and we'd go back and forth. And when I first met her, she was, and I say this with love in case you are listening, she was very cold, and but that's just how she was. She really didn't talk to a whole bunch of new people, and then she comes and she talks with me, and I'm an upperclassman, and I'm talking to her being a freshman, and she's like, "What do you want?" And I was just like, "I just want to talk. We were gonna sit next to each other. Might as well, have a good conversation, have a
Yeah.
good some form of work relationship." And then she started getting snarky, and then I, being the person I am, went ahead and got snarky right back, and it was a back and forth between sarcastic comments and being assholes to each other, and that just bloomed into a friendship because we respected each other. And then it turned into a mutual attractiveness to each other. And so we dated, realized that at that point we weren't good. We were better friends than what we were a couple. So we split up.
That's familiar.
And then like a year or two later, we tried it again. Same thing, ended the same way. And then stayed friends throughout the entire time. Year or two later, we tried it again. Same thing.
You really are a glutton for
I
punishment.
will shut up. It's not really punishment because, like, while we were together, even when we were together, we were just like, it was like we were just hanging out. Like it was just friends. And it was at that last time that we're like, you know what? We are just better off as friends.
Yeah.
And we mutually, for the third time, we mutually were like, you know what? We're not, no matter what happens after this, we're not going to try to get back together. We'll be friends. I still love her to death. I think she can say the same. I hope she can say the same. Because let's face it, I can get to be an annoying little shit.
Little.
Um, Shut up. Um, but you know, at that point, it was like, yes, dear, I'm not gonna try anything. I'm not gonna have the lemonade. Um, and that was just like, it was fun ish.
And I mean, now the difference between then and now is like people didn't care back then what you came wearing. As long as you came and you had fun with your friends.
Okay, so you graduated way before I did. You
Not way
graduate.
before.
You graduated in 2001.
Yeah.
I graduated in 2006.
Yeah.
Okay, 5 years is a long time in high school.
Yeah.
While it may not have mattered while you were in high school, when I was in high school, it very much mattered.
Well, see,
I
and
had
it's not
because
that
I was.
I thought
Hang,
that it mattered, and
let,
that's the thing. It's not the fact that what you wore didn't matter, what you wore did matter, or whatever. That's not what I'm saying. It's like things have become more of the norm now, and people could feel more comfortable now in what they're wearing than what they did when you were in
well,
prom.
no. Let me put it this way. I was
My class just didn't give a shit.
my my. I didn't have like a group. I didn't have like a trope. Like, you know how you have like, you see them in any fucking
The
high school
cliques.
TV show, or movies or stuff like that, where you have like the populars and you have the preps and you have the
The
jocks.
cliques.
Yeah, I wasn't a part of any of those. I knew enough people in every single area. I was in JROTC. I knew a bunch of people who were jocks. I knew from JROTC. I knew a bunch of people who were artists and who were potheads and who were the preppy ones and who were the populars. Like I knew enough people that I could swing into each and individual fucking group and just be ignored. I called myself a ghost because I could go in to any group and talk with anybody. If I wasn't being annoying, nobody paid attention to me. And I will fully admit, when I was younger, I was an annoying little shit. Just a little shit turned into a big shit. Fuck off. But even when I was like in high school, you had those group of people who were like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe they're wearing that. Oh my gosh, I can't believe they're
Oh no,
wearing
there's
that."
always judgmental people.
No, no, no. And they would make it a point. I saw one girl almost get something dumped on him, and had it not been for me spotting it before it happened and warning her boyfriend or her date that was going to happen, she would have had something dumped on her.
No, I'm more so talking about the perspective of the adults in the situation. Like back when I was in high school, back in my prom, we just didn't give a shit. We didn't give a shit what the opinions of the adults were. We wore what we wanted, how we wanted, and whatnot. When you were in high school, things were a little different. That there was a decorum, a dress code type.
Yeah.
What you could and couldn't wear.
Who you couldn't bring.
Exactly. And then now, like even in the last few years, like when our oldest was a freshman and he went with a friend of his, kind of like your situation, he went with a friend of his to her homecoming. Granted, it's not the same as prom, not as big of a deal,
It really isn't.
but there was a student who had recently come out as trans, and he, or I should say she, use the correct pronouns,
Yeah.
she came to homecoming in a dress, and her date wore a dress, and she got removed from the prom,
Oh yeah.
or from homecoming. And now our son is like, I have a friend that is trans and we met her. She's a sweet kid.
Well, I don't know.
Going on.
I don't know about the sweet part because I really didn't have a whole lot of conversation. It was almost like, and I say this lightly, and almost like they didn't want to talk with me, which I'm perfectly fine with.
It's a comfortability
yeah.
thing.
Sorry.
But no, like he has a friend that is trans and is going to be wearing a dress to prom. And last year when they first came out, everybody was making fun of her, or certain people were making fun of her. Her aunt was like, "You're a boy and you don't need to be, threatening to kick her out," and all this, that, and the other. And Nathaniel's like, "Fuck it. I'll wear a dress to prom. Let somebody say something to me." Like, that's the type of deal. That's the type of thing that, we've taught our children, is regardless of what you believe or how you feel or how you see yourself or how you see others, treat them with a decorum and respect that you would ask them to treat you. And it's the whole treat others how you want to be treated thing. And our son is like, screw it, I'll wear a dress, let somebody say something. I don't
know
care.
that part.
Yeah, he wanted me to go get him a dress for prom.
We could make him look very nice.
I'm telling you.
Let his sister get a hold of him. Let his sister get a hold of him. Tell her, hey.
I'll even let his skinny butt wear my prom dress from junior year.
It probably fit a little. Well, no, it might be a little bit short.
No, it was dragging on the ground with me.
Well, then he would have to shave his legs. Because boy is like a werewolf. He got some hairy ass legs.
He wouldn't care. He'd go in with the.
Are you kidding me? He doesn't want to shave his fucking face.
No, he's got a bet going on with the teacher who can last till the end of the school year.
That ended last year.
No, that was this year.
No, it wasn't. He started growing it last year.
Yeah. I'm saying it's for the end of this year.
But anyways,
And I mean, so many things have changed, and it's like it it's
in some
like
cases
so
it's
final.
a welcome change
Yeah.
because we're finally allowing people to be who they are.
We're finally
But on the
last year
same
he didn't get a prom because of COVID.
but at the same time, it's more restrictive.
And it feels so final for these kids now. They're like, "Well, senior prom is just around the corner. It's next weekend."
Oh yeah.
And
Did you buy tickets yet?
I don't know. I don't even know if the kid has a date. I mean,
Well, I know he wants to go, but I don't know if he has tickets.
oh, I know he was purchasing tickets because they're selling them at the door. They're not allowing you to purchase them in
Okay.
advance. It's a whole thing. They're actually, and this is the weird part, is I don't know about you, but my prom wasn't at my high school.
Nope.
Our after prom was,
Oh yeah.
but
We ran it out. I think it was a Knights of Columbus, like
Legion Hall type
something
deal.
like that. Yeah.
Ours was at a huge hotel downtown. Actually, it was the hotel that was originally in the spot where that big ugly ass blue bear is.
Oh yeah, I know. And actually, I now that I'm remembering it, both of mine were in downtown Harrisburg.
Hmm. But yeah, I mean, everybody's like,
Well,
"Oh, it's
the two that I went to when I was in high school was in downtown Harrisburg. One I went to with a friend of mine was I think in Mechanicsburg, something like that. It was further away,
yeah,
but then the after party was at the high school. But like, I'm happy that he wants to go, but at the same time, it's like we have some work we got to do. I hate to say this, but
yeah."
if to make him look presentable, we're gonna have to do some work, and he's not gonna like it, you know. But because
I've
going to
always
these
told
things,
them that if they want to keep their hair long, go for it. If you want to have a beard, go for it, but take care of it. Dude looks like a prickly cactus.
looks like he stuck his finger in an electrical socket half the time with his beard and his Justin Bieber haircut and how his hair looks. And
Oh, it's
now he's trying to put it up
beyond.
in a fucking ponytail, and he looks like he's wearing a man bun. And I'm like, I want to smack the stupid out of you.
I just want to cut it off,
But
but it's not my choice.
it's not.
It's hair. Who cares?
But with this is the first of three. I hope you realize.
Shut up. I'm not. He is going to his senior prom next weekend, and then in less than a month. Less than a month. Actually, you know what? I'll even go even better than that. A few days before prom, 3 days to be exact, he turns 18.
Uh huh.
Then prom.
Mm-hmm.
And then a few weeks after that, graduation. Holy shit.
You realize that Haley? I think Haley's gonna end up being 18 throughout most of her senior year.
No, she'll turn 17 her senior year.
Okay, then I can't do math. I can't like when I graduated, I was 17. I turned 18 a few weeks after I graduated.
She started kindergarten when she was still 4.
Okay. Matthias, though,
He will be 18 his entire almost all but the first 2 months of his senior year
yep.
he'll be 18 because unfortunately in Colorado if you don't turn 5 by the time October 1st rolls around you can't start kindergarten that year. You have to wait till the next year.
Yeah.
So he was born October 19th. So yeah, he didn't start until he was just about 6.
Yep.
So it's crazy. We've got
Time has gone by so fast.
We've got one graduating this year. 2 years we have another graduating. 4 years we have the third graduating, and then we'll be empty nesters.
Well, I don't know about that. I don't know about that because I don't know if the younger two. Well, I know the youngest. She wants to leave rather quickly once she gets done with high school. At least at the
Yeah.
moment.
At the moment.
The middle one, I'm not sure about.
He wants to go to veterinary school. He's
Well,
always wanted to go to veterinary school.
I understand that, but like, I don't know if he's planning on like moving out, getting a job before he moves out? Like,
Oh, he's planning on moving to where my mother is and going to the vet school up there
huh,
because they deal with large animals and they deal with exotics and all this, that, and the other. And
I
I'm
hate to
just
I
like,
hate to say it like this, but it'll be your mom's problem. I
and that's the thing is like,
love my children.
he's a good kid. He really is. Misguided and kind of
Focused on the wrong
dumb
things.
at times,
Focused on the wrong things.
but he's a smart kid.
Oh yeah.
He just needs to learn to use it instead of utilizing his brain cells for video games. Hey, I can't say too much because I've played a lot more video games lately than I usually do, but if you work where I work and you have to deal with the bullshit I do,
You need some form
you
of outlet.
need something to kill too.
Well, you need some form of outlet. Now, whether that's you're going ahead and killing imaginary, pretend, sprites on a screen, or whether you are,
Hurry,
you know,
somebody create a mod for Skyrim so that I could put
you
somebody's
cannot
face to
do
somebody.
that.
But
No, no, no.
dang it.
Anyways,
Video game pilots. Gotta love it.
um, well, we are a little bit. We're almost to the hour 30 mark.
Nice.
Um, which you know, just being the first one back uh, after a couple months.
Sorry about that.
um, but once again, I will say this: we stand with you, Ukraine. You are in our thoughts. You are in our prayers. And
Kick Russia's ass.
and Mr. Depp, I highly doubt you're going to hear this. You the man. You have my support.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Miss Heard, if you hear this once again, which I highly doubt, you're an idiot. And I hope you get everything that you deserve. Um, whether that's good or bad, I'm just leaving it open ended. You get everything you deserve.
Have the day you deserve,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Thank you, Eldritch Author. Um, go check him out on TikTok. He's fantastic. Um, but with that being said,
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Don't be a dick.
yeah, don't be a dick. Don't forget that. Don't forget to love each other. And we hope that you have. We hope you have the day that you deserve. And if you don't, and it's a bad day, and you deserve a good day, I mean, froyo and kicking people in the dick is always an option.
Hey, hey, hey.
All right,
Don't
yeah.
be a dick.
Skip the froyo, get ice cream. Anyways, no. I'm kidding. But have yourself a great rest of your day. And yeah, we love you. And
Hopefully, we'll be back
we're
next
we're
week.
hoping that we're going to be able to start making this weekly
A
again.
little more regular.
No promises as of yet. We do have a few things that are in motion that we are not saying anything right now, just on the off chance.
Just hope.
Yeah. But we are working. We are going to be working on trying to make this a weekly thing again. So we will see you when we next see you. And
And remember,
don't be a dick. Goodbye.